Today I'm going to show you the LZX Industries War of the Ants. I have this little system, it's just about under 84 HP, not counting the liquid TV, and I'm going to just work through about 3 patches. The first patch setup is pretty simple. I have a diamond from the horizontal and vertical ramps on the Cortex being fed into the source on the doorway, of the source's output being fed into the density on the War of the Ants, and then the texture into the color cords. And I have the red, green, and blue channel on the color cords being fed into the visual cortex. So since I have this diamond fed into the density, you can see the shape on the screen, and we can sort of add a positive or negative image by attenuating the input. You can also control the density of the noise, the saturation, let's kind of add that in a bit, the horizontal frequency, which sort of shapes the noise, the vertical frequency, which adds some other shaping, some of those long horizontal lines. Can also add depth and speed of the animation. So I want to get something usable here that I like. I'm also going to engage the high pass, so you sort of get this relief image here. Let's turn the animation down because I want to add some audio CV control. So thanks to my friend Sean, who gave us some sweet tunes to control our images with today. I'm going to engage, I have the CV from an oscillator being fed into this into the bridge, and I'm going to take that output and modulate the horizontal frequency. So you can see with this horizontal frequency being modulated, we got some animation on our relief. If we mess with these controls, now I'm going to add the kick in to the vertical. So already we have some pretty dynamic animation, and just tweak these controls around a bit. Get some more saturation. See what happens if I engage the other high pass filter. Alright, now I'm going to take the animation out, since we've engaged the animation on the War of the Ants, and I'm going to put it into the threshold on the doorway. So now we're getting this animation, animating our shape a bit. Turn the speed down a bit. Let's get a little grungier. This next patch setup, I have a circle from the horizontal and vertical ramp generator on the visual cortex plugged into the staircase. I have the 4 output of the staircase into the density of the War of the Ants, and then I have that texture output into layer 1 of the color cords. I have the 2 output of the staircase into the source on the doorway, and I have that output into layer 2 of the color cords. Now this patch is cool because you just have essentially the same shape into 2 channels on the color cords. So if you adjust the slider on layer 1, let's make this a little more apparent, you can bring the background image into the foreground or background. So it's a fun tool to have when you're playing live, to be able, or making a composition, to move that in the foreground or background. So I'm going to tweak some of these parameters around a bit till I get something that's pretty cool looking. Add some animation and real grungy. Turn the saturation up, and density. Now I have the CV value from the oscillator into the horizontal of the War of the Ants, and then I have the kick into the phase on the staircase. So let's turn that down a bit. I'm going to turn the audio on so we can start to modulate these parameters. So adjusting Finally, a more complex patch with a ton of variables in it. Take a diamond out of the ramp generator into the doorway, patch that into the density on the War of the Ants. Take the animation out, put it in the phase of the staircase, the texture into the source of the staircase, and then a trick I like to use a lot, each one of the outputs on the staircase into one of the channels on the color cords. Just to illustrate some of the cool things about this patch, you can get really delicate additions of noise around your patch by moving the saturation or the horizontal frequency. Creates sort of this feedback looking effect. You can adjust that even further with the phase on the staircase. There's a lot of fun interplay between these modules, and you can get super gritty, this sort of like old school video mixer noisy effect. Just about every knob in this patch is really exciting, so it's something worth playing around with if you end up recreating it. I'm gonna modulate some of these sources. Again, horizontal frequency, these have been my two favorites, and the frequency on the staircase. I'm gonna bring the audio in and we'll end with this patch.